Today's topic, microscopes. In our biology classes here at Hobbs High School, the microscope is one of the most important tools that we can use in order to examine things that are very small, one-celled organisms, pieces of tissue. We use the microscope to examine things that are very small. Micro meaning small, scope is to see. So I have an illustration here from online on the parts of a microscope. Let me make sure I get that in the picture. We're going to start at the top. We're going to go from the eyepiece counterclockwise around, and we're going to come back up to the side. You can find this online. Just go, as I tell the class, go on the interwebs and to that very interesting Google machine and type in parts of the microscope, and there you'll have it. And this will be one of those videos that requires me to be in the shot, which I really don't like doing, but I'll do it anyway. Hello. All right. This is one of our older microscopes that we have here at Hobbs High School. And this was actually passed down to the science department from the agriculture education department, from what I understand. I pulled these out of storage because my students, I have about 140 students that I teach here at Hobbs High School, and I wanted them to have some experience on the microscope. So we've taken the time, all classes learn the parts of the microscope, but I had an extra microscope lab for them to do while we were also doing our osmosis and diffusion lab, which you can also find here on the channel. All right, starting at the top, we have the eyepiece. This is the part that you look through to see what it is you're looking at. This is the body tube. This body tube's purpose is to, besides make it more comfortable for you to see what you're looking at, also this lens and these lenses need to be a certain distance apart. So this body tube's purpose is to provide that distance. In our particular microscopes, these eyepieces can rotate in order to make it more comfortable for you or others to see. We have the revolving nose piece. This has room for 3 objective lenses. That's what these lenses are called. The object of these objective lenses is to see the object that's in your slide. See what I did there? Okay. We have the stage of the microscope. That's this flat area here. On the stage of the microscope, and I'll turn this sideways so you can see, we have a stage clip. Now, in older microscopes, there are actual clips that you would slide the slide under, and you would put the clips over the top. Ours happen to have this handy-dandy little holder here for putting your slides in. And I'll put this in and move that kind of out of the way. I have 2 controls here. I can roll the slide forward or backward across the stage, or up and down stage, I guess if we're going to speak theatrically. And then I can go from stage left to stage right using this controller. On the old-fashioned microscopes, you would simply slide the slide until you had it positioned under, or over, sorry, this right here, which I'm going to call the aperture. I'm not sure the exact technical name. I'm going to call this the aperture, the opening in the stage that allows the light to come up from underneath. Speaking of light, we have a light source. Now in some places I noticed online, they'll call this the illuminator. Ooh, it provides illumination. And then this dial is called the diaphragm. The diaphragm, and let me pull this back a little bit so you can see up underneath. The diaphragm has different size holes so that you can set the amount of light that you would like to come from the illuminator or the light source up through the aperture and to illuminate or to show your specimen. The entire microscope is on a base. The back side is the arm, okay, because it kind of reaches out here and holds the revolving nose piece. And then the business end here, besides this, the part that you can use to focus in on what you're seeing, we have the 2 knobs. The large one is usually called the coarse adjustment or the coarse focus. The small one is the fine adjustment or the fine focus. Coarse, because when you turn this, the stage moves a lot. The fine, because when you turn this, you get fine movements. I don't even know if you can see this moving. I've got my finger on it. I can't even hardly feel it moving. All right, so then we've come up. So let's just review. Eyepiece, body tube, revolving nose piece, objective lenses, stage clips, the diaphragm, the light, the base, the fine focus, the coarse focus, the stage, the arm, and then we're back to the eyepiece. Now, let's say that your microscope's been in storage for a while. You need to clean the glass. Please don't use your shirt. Please don't use a paper towel or a Kleenex. Those are very rough. Even though they feel soft to us, they're very rough and they can leave marks on the glass. You'll need something like optical lens wipes or optical lens papers, or if you have one of those soft cloths that they give you to do your eyeglasses like I have, you may use one of those. How this works, very simply, I'm going to, if I can get my fat fingers to cooperate, okay, set it down, best thing to do. I'm going to peel off one sheet of this lens paper, pull it out of my booklet just like that. There you go. Very soft. Run it over the lenses just like that. If I can get up underneath, I'll do that also. And I'm going to very gently, because these are prepared slides, I'm going to very gently clean the slide off. Let me try that again. Okay. In this case, this happens to be an old prepared slide of lung tissue. I move the clip out of the way, set the slide up in the holder in the proper position, allow the clip to come back. I then am going to use my adjustments so that I can position this sample over the aperture. I'm going to adjust the diaphragm to where I have a medium amount of light coming in to start with. And then we always start on the lowest power. Now, when we talk about observing in a microscope, the eyepiece normally provides us with 10 times the normal magnification of what you see with your eyes. I can see 10 times closer, 10 times smaller, maybe you want to say 10 times better. However you want to remember it, that's fine. But not only do I have this lens, I have the lens down here. In this case, this is 10 times 4 times. So 10 times 4 is 40 times my normal vision. The medium vision one here is 10 times 10, and on this particular microscope that would be 100. And then for the high power, this is 10 times 440, so that gives me a total viewing of up to 400 magnification. And in microscopes, when there's 3, low power, medium power, high power. Nothing too fancy here. I do have a few microscopes that have 4 lenses. I told the students low power, medium power, high power, and then highest power. But we always start on low power. Shortest one, low power, gives us the widest field of view, allows us to see what our sample looks like overall. Plus, if you've got too much magnification, as we're going to find in the next video when I do an actual microscope lab and show you what some of this looks like, you can focus right through the sample and not even see it. All right, to use the microscope. Now, if you have glasses like I do, you can use your glasses. What I would do here is I would come up to right about there without the lens touching. Then I'm going to start doing my coarse focus, coarse adjustment. There I see it. Now you'll notice that my face is not up against the eyepiece. The way this works, the best viewing is with your eye just off the eyepiece. If you put your eye right up against the eyepiece, you will find, like several of my young ladies did in the microscope lab, that their eyelashes get in the way. She had these brand new fancy magnetic backed eyelashes, and she had to actually take them off in order to see. But if you have glasses, fine. If you don't need your glasses, I'm more farsighted. I can actually put my naked eye up here, and I can bring this into focus. And you'll also notice this eye is open. The object of the exercise is that you need to train your eye so that you can see through the microscope and keep this eye open. Students ask, why is that? Well, if you're doing this all the time, first off, you're going to start talking funny, and this is going to get very tired, and you're going to have this permanent wrinkle in the side of your eye. So, train your eye. If you need to, you can put one hand over, or you could actually go, I guess, to your local department store and you could get an eye patch and use it. But we want to have both eyes open. I have this in focus. I can now rotate to medium power, and I'm going to use the fine focus to bring that into focus so I can see what the pointer is pointing at. A lot of these will have a pointer in the eyepiece that you just turn a ring, and it will turn the pointer so you can point it at different things in your sample. Now, when we're rotating to the high power, very important. This high power, most of these are spring-loaded in the bottom down here. That's so that you don't break the slide. What I would recommend is step away from your microscope, rotate this, and see if it's actually going to hit the slide. If it appears it's going to hit the slide, rotate your stage down so that this will pop into place, and then gently bring this back into focus. If you rotate this down, you could grab that slide or that cover slip on that slide, and you could actually move it and throw the whole sample out of the way. So please be very careful when you're going to high power. In this case, looks really nice. I'm just going to use my fine focus. And one thing that you're going to notice when you do the higher power, you'll start seeing dust. You might see some floaties. In my case, when I blink my eyes, I see floaties sometimes in this high power. I don't know why that is. It just is. So if you see things moving around in your field of vision, please don't freak out. It's just normal. All of us have them. But what I'm looking at is what's further down in here is my sample. In this case, it's lung tissue. I can then, using my open eye over here, I can have my notebook. I can take notes while I'm looking. I can sketch, come back to what I'm looking at. Makes it very easy if I keep both eyes open. When you're done using your microscope, please make sure and roll the stage down. Roll this back to low power. Unless you're allowing other people to use it, turn your light source off. Put your slide away. Of course, you'll have a cover for your microscope, and then you're done for the day. Hopefully, this has helped explain how to use a microscope and the parts of the microscope a little bit more.